And then, if you want to take it further, you have to study astrotheology. Astrotheology breaks down everything. It ties everything together. It brings science with spiritual knowledge, which is the real science anyways, with religion, with, I was going to say physics, but it's any science you can think of, with philosophy, everything. They incorporate astrology. They incorporate everything into one. But astrology is the true nature of science. Like, literally, without astrology, you actually couldn't even have science. Astrology is everything. You need, like, every planet is a component of science. Like, you even, in order for us to have certain elements, they come specifically from certain planets. And also to add, because my brain just told me to say this, like, planets are not physical. They are literally a vibration. They're a frequency. Like, they make us think it's a solid, actual figure, but it's not. Like, it's really not. Like, that's why when you see Jupiter sitting in the fucking sky, or when you see whatever fucking planet you want to think of, or any of the fucking of the what is it called, of the fucking stars up there and shit, the constellations, that's what I wanted to say. Any of the constellations, when you look at them, like, they're just literal balls of energy. They're just stars. Like, that's what stars are, and that's also what planets are. And that's what they say we can also become once we ascend, which is just a ball of light, which is just nothing but energy. They even say our own natural bodies have their own fucking Makurbas, which a Makurba is a natural ship. And again, Jesus was able to ascend and create that natural Makurba and get the fuck out of here, and do, and pretty much come back up, come back to life, like, have that control over himself. But he was, again, the only one of the only ones to do it. And so they had to teach us that story to go about it. But yeah, either way, the planets are not physical. They're a frequency, just like everything else is. When you really tap into everything, you notice everything is a frequency. Everything is, yeah, it's about frequencies. It's like right now we're on a, a 3D plane right now, but we're moving into different frequencies to where it's like we're getting closer to those 4D, 5D type of frequencies, to where it's like, our bodies are ascending. That's why it's also so hot. Our bodies are going to get to a point to where they can't even take the sun. They're gonna have to be so light as a feather. That's why we should be eating very clean and eating very light, because if you're eating very heavy, the sun is gonna eat your ass up. If you don't get what I'm saying, look into it. But yeah, and everything I'm saying, look into it. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe me. These are just like certain points of the things I've learned that I feel like you should dive into yourself. I'm just sparking some type of knowledge into you, and you can look into it yourself and see, what you believe, or what connects with you. But at the end of the day, everything I've learned has come to be true, has some type of, backup. It's pretty factual, but again, look into it yourself. You have to find that knowledge within you. I found it outside of me and within me. So when I put those things together, everything makes sense. And that's what astrotheology does. It makes everything make sense. Once you really look into that shit, everything makes sense. And also astrology. But again, astrotheology uses astrology. But I'm saying that to say, don't have a disbelief in fucking astrology. Do not let people steer you away from that. That is the cosmic science. That is your cosmic DNA. How you got here, where you decided to, or where you were chose to fucking come alive, or come into this world, to this physical plane. It's like, that means so much. That is your cosmic DNA, literally. Like, when I say I'm an Aries, that is actually everything. Like, that is a major part of me. Like, in any sign, whenever you say that, that is a major part of you. That is literally your cosmic DNA. And then when you learn your chart, and your like your natal chart and everything, it's very deep. It teaches you everything you need to know about yourself, and it teaches you your future as well. You can literally predict your own future by just reading your fucking natal chart. Everything is there. Astrology is deeper than they want you to fucking understand. They want you to stray away from it, because people be like, oh, this sign is this sign is that. Yes, we understand that some of that shit is not real, because like any sign, you're like, you have other signs within your chart. So you're not just like, just because I'm an Aries, I'm not just an Aries. I also have my big three. You know, we also have other signs. We actually have like a whole fucking chart of them. Like, you don't even just have three unless that's all you have in your chart. But you know, it's like, yeah, like it goes very deep. So don't let people push you away from it. You gotta tap into this knowledge by yourself. Don't let them make you think that this shit is witchcraft, or you know that God's gonna help, like, hate you for fucking studying outside of Christianity, or you know, studying outside of it. No, like, you have to understand, every culture has a constructed belief system that has some major control over their life. Again, nothing should have control over your life but you. That's why people, you know, despise people who claim to be conscious or, you know, spiritual, but they have an independence. They get to learn and love and, you know, move the way they want to without restriction, without, you know, being told that, you know, that God's gonna hate you for just even reading a book, or, you know, tapping into things that have nothing to do with that religion specifically, you know. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. Yeah, whatever.